All right. Good afternoon. Welcome everybody. I'm Mr. Winder, and this is April's Patient and Family Advisory Council. So here's our agenda that we're going to go over. We'll go over some patient relations reps, which used to be the patient advocate program, the Joe's Tea initiative, and then we'll go over our Joe's statistics we have up to February, so March doesn't drop till the 15th of this month. The TRICARE table schedule and info booth. Then we'll show our new customer service MTF video, and then we'll open it up to the floor.
So I'll quickly talk about this real quick. So just, one of the biggest requests everybody had was customer service, making sure that our airmen have that customer service skill set, because they don't get that type of training in test school, So over the last month or so, we've had 13 representatives that are now embedded in each clinic. So mental health has one, family, student, they all have a patient advocate. And the job of this patient advocate is literally that, to advocate on the patient's behalf for any opportunities for improvements, some complaints, things like that. They have been trained in-house in a structured MTF customer service training. They have also taken a DHA level training that's going to be pushed out across the Air Force as well. So they've been trained in both areas, and they have the tools that they need. So they now have patient advocate packets. They have a report, so when they're talking with the patient and they have a complaint, they're actually documenting it in a standardized way. And everything else is, for the most part, streamlined. We're going to start reporting these metrics very soon in our executive meeting, so not only do those complaints or those opportunities for improvements sit at a local level within the clinic, every 3 months it'll also come up to the command level, and we can kind of look at where those trends are, what clinics are having those issues, and who do we think possibly needs some customer service training. So this was a big one that we kind of pushed out. There's still a lot to do, but hopefully within the next 4 months, they'll be very, very sharp, and it'll be running by itself, and we won't have any issues. So we have heard you guys about training up our airmen around that customer service aspect, being empathetic and giving them the tools that they need, and we've already implemented it. So thank you for that feedback, everyone. We appreciate that, and we'll keep you posted how the program goes. Any questions? Yes. What question you got?
Wow.
That's awesome. I love that question.
I saw my dad's name on it.
Oh, really? Yeah. Yeah, rock star, right? So that said, I'm going to go ahead. Any more questions? No? You got a question? Nice to join it. No, just kidding. That said, I'm going to hand it back over to Mr. Winder. You can finish up the brief.
So, quick question.
Oh.
So, these people have gotten more training. Has everybody received?
So, their job outside of their normal job is customer service, is patient advocate. So we started with them.
Okay.
The goal is to look at that and have these individuals kind of train the rest of their peers about how a patient advocate should work. The reality is, if a complaint comes in, say with someone that's not on this chart, they should be actually referring or having that person on the chart step in and take care of that issue. DHA will push out the CBT training that I talked about to everybody in the Air Force. But as for the in-house customer service training, it's really at the commander's discretion if we want to do that, if we have the time to do that. But the advocates should be able to train their peers around them on how to handle a situation and making sure that they know that they're the point person or point of contact to kind of step in when those complaints come.
Okay.
So, any other questions?
In addition to that, though, we do have annual customer service training. We just completed that. It's another computer-based training, but it's due every March 31st. So I know I'm just trying to be something. So just reminding everybody, we are a customer service organization. Medical is our focus, but of course, within that is that's a very important piece of it.
Yeah, and to give you some realistic outputs that came out of this since we've implemented it, I have seen a huge decrease in complaints coming to my table from a group level. I do know a few advocates have already dealt with some patients. I know one clinic has already dealt with about 4 and was able to document it, handle it at the local level, and it didn't even hit my desk. So it is working. It'll take some time to really streamline it and make sure they're really sharp. And then also the reason why we built it this way with these different trainings is because then it's sustainable. So that next person that steps in when they PCS out will know you have to do this training, and here's your reports and tools you have to use, so it's always standardized. It's not just you handle the patient you feel like whatever way you feel like handling it. So, any more questions? Sir?
So these training events, are they more informal conflict resolution type things, or are they more geared towards this is the formalized process of dealing with patients?
Both. So in the CBT version, they just talk about general customer service and the concept and methodology around that. In the in-house version, I actually go into in depth about the actual tools and the steps of progressing that complaint from local over to flight commander to me and Major Everson's level. So we do talk about the tools, but also during that same training, we also talk about scenarios, real scenarios that's actually happened here in the clinic and how they should handle it. The big thing I like to harp on is body language and tonality, especially with a situation that happened in the past where somebody that's just very positive and smiling walked into a situation still smiling, and I gave the wrong, perception of how he was going to handle that. So we do talk about that stuff too. So it's not just the tools. My background outside of healthcare administration is also my first bachelor's degree is communications. So I'm actually trained up on this as well, academically and both from experience as well. So any more questions? Cool. Mr. Winder, take it away.
Thanks, sir. Well, next is Joe's T. So it's a text message capability that we have through the Joe's survey platform. I believe that we're going to start going live by May 6th, if not earlier than that. And we've already started to implement the codes when the patient allows it to for them to be capable to be able to receive those text surveys. The survey is much shorter than the one that you receive in the mail. It's only 4 questions, and those results will go directly to us through the reports that we already get. So it just helps with response rate. We also get results much faster, and it helps you guys give an input right after, within 24 hours of being seen by the provider, where the mail ones you might not get for a week or so, and by that time you kind of forget the encounter, you have more appointments in between there, so that type of stuff. So it'll help with our customer service and our efficiency with providing care here as well. Anything you'd like to add, sir?
Yeah, so he's being modest, but remember you guys giving us feedback about the pictures and the designs and stuff like that, so we modified it. This is one flyer, and this is the second. We took all of your feedback, modified it, sent it up to AFMO, and it's got approved, and now this is going to be the flyers for all DoD around the world.
Awesome.
So all that feedback that you gave us,
Notice the old person in the picture.
yeah, we did change that, and we took care of that. We took care of the nails, you guys said you didn't like the color of that person's nail. So we did all that.
We did.
Yeah, so it got approved, and now it's been pushed out to all the DoD. So when they launch this May 6th, this will be the flyer that goes out with the actual project in the pilot.
Awesome.
Just to kind of expand on what he was saying. Technically speaking, we are somewhat live. We're in the data stage, so we're collecting information. Every time a patient comes up and says, "Yes, I want a Joe survey," we're actually putting their information in to get a Joe survey. So what that'll do is in May 6th, once they go live, all that data of all the people that said yes will actually push out surveys, and we'll have some stuff in the back end already ready to go. Instead of trying to go live May 6th and starting to collect people's information. We're actually already been doing that for the last 2 months. So so far we've seen quite a few people that actually opted in to get the text message survey. So it's going to be pretty good when we push it out.
And the posters in the lobby.
Oh yeah, they're all over the
saw.
place.
Marketing it pretty
And-
heavily.
Lieutenant Guthrie, and you may have talked about this last month, but it is still linked to an encounter, though, right?
Yes,
It's
ma'am.
not just
they
in
have
general.
to. They have to been
Okay.
seen
We don't have anything ice or anything on here, right?
by providers.
No, so all right, so yes, that's a good point, Colonel Morales. So this is only for people that come in for an encounter. It has been expressed by all of our services, Marines especially, actually brought it to the table recently to create an ICE survey. The ICE survey is going to reflect, for the most part, some of the questions that are in here. So those individuals that didn't have an encounter but they just want to give feedback, they're able to still give us a virtual survey, and we're in the process of getting that off the ground. By the time this actually launches, the ICE survey should be squared away too. So simultaneously, they'll both launch out together, and we can collect information from those that just want to give us, kudos or opportunities for improvement, and then those that actually had encounters. So we have both tools that we're working on right now.
So now we'll go over our Joe's metrics for February. This is for recommended facility to a family member or friend. So 89.6% gave us a 4 or 5, which is pretty good.
So does everybody know, when we're looking at this slide, I know we've put it up quite a few times, what 5s and 4s and 5s actually mean? So it's 5 out of 5 stars, 4s and 5s. So even though 5s, we tend to get in that red, really we want to look at 4s and 5s because that means we're extremely good and good. And we tend to do pretty well, in the 90%, 80, 85 is the Air Force standard to be successful. So when we're looking at this, just kind of keep that in mind.
So this is provider treated me with courtesy and respect, which is all green, so that's good. Provider explained things in a way that was easy to understand. Provider team considers my values and opinions when we make decisions about my health care. And able to see provider when needed.
Any questions about this one? Okay.
Courtesy and respectfulness of clerks and receptionists. Helpfulness of clerks and receptionists.
So I heard somebody say, oops, it went down. There's a reason for that, and I like to give you guys live information. It's because we actually got a new employee on the team. So we're in the process of training. So in that chaos of training, there's obviously a little bit of kind of the broken work stream because we're trying to get our trainer, Pearl, training this new employee, which means that she's not 100% involved in the front and back. So that will change because in a month she'll be released and she'll actually be working and doing marketing for the clinic. So she'll be doing all types of cool initiatives on that side. But that is why it went down a little bit, is because we're kind of focusing on training those clerks. Going back to customer service, we actually implemented something last month that is really cool. We actually have the clerks go to referrals now on a monthly basis during training day and getting trained by referrals. So that referrals and the front desks they're speaking the same language. We're doing a lot of things to try to make that process and those techs as sharp as possible. So
I got a question. I don't know how far back you have this information, but have you ever laid it over each year to see if there are spikes at certain times in the year?
we can. We like
Not
to.
that I need to know.
We like to show, in fact, technically speaking, this is going back from February to March 2018. But we can run reports next time around for like a 12-month period. So you can kind of see what that looks like too. But we do look at that.
For your information, sometimes when you compare year to year, certain trends happen in December, just certain things happen in
Always in the
June.
summer.
that-
Summertime
and
PCS.
How do you anticipate those things?
So they have what they call a customer service training once a month, and the way that the agenda works is they go over the Joe's survey results, and they look at those trends. They listen to recordings for the phone calls, and they listen to the good calls and some of the not so great calls. And then we also look at any other trends that are brought to the table. So for example, today, international students. that was a new process that we have to work through because we haven't seen one in about 8 or 9 months. You know what I mean? So every month they have that part of the day where they look at exactly what you're talking about, and then now we started to integrate them also with referrals, so they also understand what referrals does as well because they interact so much with each other. So we're trying to build out our training days to actually be training days and not just focusing on just CPTs. But yeah, we do look at that.
And your data is 45 days old?
It could go back as far as we needed to go back.
No, I mean, the newest data
So
is 45 days old. 'Cause we can't get.
every Joe's surveys results, they drop on the 15th of the month. So because today is what, the 11th, we
Yeah.
can't show you Marches until the 15th.
So they dropped the 15th of
Of
the
next month.
That's
Yes,
what I'm
ma'am.
saying. We're 45 days behind in our
Mhm.
data.
But and that's why we're working on doing the ICE surveys, because that would be real time information. Hey, can you have candy? I don't know. Talk to your mom. I mean, I'm cool with it.
41 days. 41 days, not quite the 41.
Depends on which month we're talking.
So do you want to talk about this one? A
Sure.
little bit?
So these are the comments that you can leave in the Joe's surveys,
What papers go to work at
good and bad.
7:30?
6:15 is when we open.
Oh, it's
6:05. I think the doors
6:05,
open
so-
every
I'll let
morning.
you guys read them, and if anything
On
crosses
Monday.
your mind or you want to bring something
My
up, go
bank is
ahead.
never open at that time of day.
So I don't know what hangs open at 6:05, but I'm here at
Yeah.
6:05 every day. Very easy.
So we try not to. We don't try not to. We do not scrub this data. So good or bad, we always put it on the slide.
Joe's doesn't modify it either. Exactly how you put it in,
It's
or
still
if you
doing it,
misspell a
still
word
doing
or
it.
whatever it is,
Yeah.
that's how it's going in.
Making blank.
A month? Who had to wait a month for an appointment? Pete's maybe.
That's possible.
How many Joe's surveys mailed do we get back on average a month? Is
I'd
it
have to
like
touch base with
40? It's around
Yeah.
40-ish.
with Janice.
Percent or number?
No, 40 surveys, period. So those numbers that you're seeing is based off of 40 mail-out surveys. I think they send out around 100 a month or something.
No, they send out way more
Is
than
it more
that.
than that?
Yeah, in the thousands. It's just the return rate sometimes is lower.
Because they're mailback.
But there's email ones that we get back that are more too. So it's either email or mail depending on what they have as a preference.
And you know, when we get the statistics back for Joe's T,
We don't know yet.
well, but when we do, will it tie into those same statistics? Because then those might become more accurate.
Right.
Based
You
on
would think so, it's for your
Can we
facility.
make sure that Dr. Ward gets that final comment that'll redeem him from the mustache comment?
Creepy mustache.
Yeah. Is this on live? Dr. Ward, did you hear that?
Dr. Ward is currently at training. He may be watching this.
All right, so you want to hit on the next one?
Yep, so this is just monthly TRICARE visits that we'll have a representative here at the clinic. The TRICARE table is located right there by the pharmacy. As soon as you come in, they'll be here on the 29th of April and then also the 20th of May. And we are still working on an actual like TRICARE section in the lobby where we'll have pretty much pamphlets that are all pertain to TRICARE, kind of be like a TRICARE information booth. So even when the representative isn't here, you can get as much resources as possible when it comes to TRICARE things. So,
Right now, they have that in their referral management.
yeah, there's one in referral management.
I love that you brought the TRICARE for Life packet.
Before we do that, before we make a place to get information, this does not send a good message. This booklet was updated July of 16?
So they typically drop off products every 6 months to a year of new stuff. All we have to do is talk to Jessica and get some new
But
stuff.
I mean,
So
you know, when the newest thing out, and this got mailed to me.
oh,
you know, and I'm like, really? This is the newest information we have? At least somebody read it and put a new date on. I mean, I don't care if they changed anything, but let me know that this is what is actually going on 3 years later.
So, you know, that's a good point, and that's a great point for this rep here. I would highly encourage you bring your booklet on the 29th and actually say that to the rep, because we don't have any control over their marketing products.
Yeah.
That's whatever they drop off, and the more that they have information like that from patients, that'll give them the information to go back and make sure that they have updated information. So
that's like looking at the appointments available online and it says 0. You know,
so
not what you want to present.
Yeah, that's true. We don't represent that.
Did I mail it to you recently?
Oh yeah, just after I
So
turned
video?
65. I mean, it's come to me
So
since
just press it?
January.
Yeah, it should be up.
Duh.
If you got stuck in between some good five gifts that says 2018, 2019.
Well, 18, 19 at least, you know,
Yeah.
you could say, okay, these are the winter ones
Okay.
for.
That's definitely
Let's
Sure.
see what's-
kind of.
All right, so we're gonna show the new customer service video that we made through NTF, through the marketing team and PA, with the help of a lot of clinician staff and representatives. So this is gonna be going to AFMS.
Conference with a few generals. So a little bit of background on it is the Air Force, DoD, has reached out to the different services and said, hey, we wanted one clinic to represent each service in customer service, and create a video about it, like what we've accomplished and what we're doing. Goodfellow was tapped to represent the Air Force in customer service, and so this film that's going to be presented is actually going to be presented at a conference with a whole bunch of 1-stars and generals, looking at each service and their customer service. And then this is also going to be the Air Force customer service video that'll go out DoD-wide for the bases around the world for at least this year. So Goodfellow and all the hard work that you guys have done, feedback and helping us create products like this is actually being shown at a DoD level now. So you guys are awesome. That said, go ahead and play it. And just to make you guys laugh a little bit, me and Mr. Winder only had about 4 hours to write the script and like a day and a half to shoot. So bear with us here.
Hello, I am Colonel Janet Urbanski, the commander of the 17th Medical Group, Goodfellow Air Force Base, Texas. I am here today to talk about what customer service means to me and the Ross Clinic. I have challenged my team to develop systems and processes that promote trusted care and high reliability. And great customer service skills are one of the most valuable tools when striving to achieve an environment that promotes a culture of learning, sharing, and continuous improvement. For 2 consecutive years, we have been fortunate to have received the Defense Health Agency Patient Engagement Award. This would not have been possible without the amazing ideas from our airmen at all levels and our community partners. Those ideas have led to the creation of our medical group's first marketing team. The main focus of this team is to enhance customer service by improving relationships with patients through outreach and education. This education helps us build a foundation of transparency, engagement, and mutual respect for all our beneficiaries, including 13,000 joint service students that graduate from Goodfellow each year. We have enhanced our outreach efforts through channels like the Patient and Family Advisory Council that gives active duty, retirees, and family members a platform to voice any concerns or ideas that can help us advance the patient experience. Many of our facility improvements, such as better signage and improved marketing materials, have come from ideas that were shared with us in the Advisory Council. In addition, because many of our students come from other services, we collaborate with them to ensure we are meeting their unique healthcare needs by working together on operational flows that are specific to their readiness requirements. Another outreach method that has been very successful for us has been our use of social media. This has dramatically increased our patient engagement by educating our beneficiaries through recurring posts, service updates, healthcare news bulletins, and highlight videos. Additionally, to complement our virtual engagement, we have increased our face-to-face briefings to all our patient categories. And because different patient populations we have customized our clinic informational packages for our different beneficiary categories. We have also had great success in providing focused face-to-face briefings and Q&A sessions to key base populations such as the first sergeants, commanders, MTLs, student teal ropes, and the moms and dads at the children's playgroup. Through these efforts, the 17th Medical Group has been able to establish stronger relationships with other units across the base and has continued to build more efficient processes based on patient needs. For our medical group to be successful in delivering trusted care, everyone working here, from our providers to our administrative staff to our housekeepers, must possess great customer service skills and be committed to patient engagement.
We only make fun of people because we know them.
So yeah, so that's the video. If you have any edits, we can't do it. We already sent it. So next time, I guess the goal is for us to continue to go down that path and do things like that. We did kind of kick around doing spotlights. You know, grabbing a provider or a tech or somebody that's doing really cool stuff, and on a monthly basis doing a spotlight about what they're doing in the clinic to enhance our ops. So yeah, that's the video. So that said, I'm gonna go ahead. Sorry, I'm gonna close it off Facebook Live, and we're gonna just open up the table to just talk about any concerns that relate to what's been going on. So see you guys later. You know, type up if you have anything, and then we'll just kind of go from there.